Welcome everyone to this week's edition of After the Bell. I am Jeff Meacham, and yes, I'm wearing different sports attire today with the King's hat and the Angels shirt, but I really don't care because that's just how I roll. I promised y'all I'd get to the forum screen questions today. I will do that starting off the show, and then if there's time, we will get to YouTube, Facebook, and I believe Twitter. I'm not sure if I got Twitter or not today. These are hidden on my form spring on mobile, so I don't know who this one's from. What's your life plan for the next 5 years? Would love to hear you answer this on After the Bell, but keep an eye on here anyway. Well, for those of you that don't know, I am starting back to college in the fall with Long Beach City for a radio, TV, broadcasting degree. So that will be the plan for the immediate future. 5 years down the road, depending on how much school costs me, I might still be at Long Beach City, or I may be at Cal State Long Beach, going for that continued effort. I figured, I've been doing these shows for so long that I might as well go to school and actually get a degree for doing something like this, and actually maybe make some real money off it. So hopefully, God willing, this will plan out. I also have a plan in the next 5 years to make sure that my son is properly educated, and starting preschool hopefully this fall, and into kindergarten, first, second, etc. by 4th grade by the time 5 years rolls around. So hopefully that will work out. People are going to ask me, well, what about marriage? What about this? I'm not with anybody right now, and I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm good on my career and my son, and if marriage happens, if a lady happens to come into my life, or if Jay and I happen to reconnect, then so be it. This is from Ricky Lawson. I did this one already. Hang on a second. Sorry. We do that one together, Jay. Ricky Lawson asked about to expand on the fantasy draft, do a fantasy pay-per-view card. We can do that, not this week on Dads, because this week on Dads is the book review. We'll talk about that in a minute. But maybe next week's Dads. Alpha Crow. Oh wait, I did that. I did all these. Yeah, I did all these on Forum Spring. Okay, so I did get the Forum Spring, except for that one I just read. So yay me, I did good. Okay. Alright, this is from YouTube. Question from Down Under. This is from Falcon17. Just say it's near the conclusion of the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match, and as superstars at the top of the ladder, suddenly the Nexus music hits, and out comes Wade Barrett. He points to the briefcase, and out of the crowd comes either current NXT guys or guys like Hawkins and Rex. They attack all the competitors, leaving Barrett to steal the briefcase. Rumor had it he was going to return to win Money in the Bank anyway, so why not make an impact with something like that? Wade Barrett needs to be Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett needs to do this on his own. No Nexus, no core, no new stable. Wade Barrett needs to come out for Money in the Bank if he does come back by the July pay-per-view and win it on his own and establish his dominance as the new #1 contender, the new #1 guy with a briefcase in his hand. He needs to do it. No Nexus, no NXT, no core, nothing. It needs to be just Wade. These next two are from J1992it. Excuse me a second. Got a little bit of a cold today. Do you think that Bryan Danielson and CM Punk are this generation's Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage? When I watch them, it reminds me of watching Steamboat and Savage back in the day. I think that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan's matches are this generation's CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. There really is. It's very hard to compare something to Savage Steamboat from the 80s because those matches were so great, and I think you can't touch those. You can't touch Flair Steamboat. You can't touch, Flair and freaking fill in the blank pretty much. Punk and Bryan have had such a great rivalry over the last 10 or so years. They are etching their own legacy in time and space. And I think that to compare them to anybody is unfair to Punk and Bryan. I think let them stand on their own, be their own entity, be their own feud. And I think that given the right amount of push and time, they can really do something special, maybe going into SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, whatever it may be. I think they've already moved beyond that, which sucks, because we've had Bryan attacking Kane over the course of last week. We've had, we've had stuff happen, so I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to happen. I hope it does, I really do, but I just don't see it. Why did Bobby Lashley never become a WWE or World Heavyweight Champion? He was a favorite of mine. He was the next big thing after Brock left and got a massive push for most of his WWE career. Personally, I thought he could be a dominating force for many years, but I never knew why he never got the big gold or why he was gone quicker than Dolph Ziggler's World Championship reign. If I remember right, and the Renegade here can help me, Bobby Lashley left because of his wife. Bobby Lashley left because his wife was, Crystal Marshall, was getting unfair treatment, I believe, and she left, and he left in protest. Is that a safe remembrance?
I believe so. I'm not 100%
I'm not 100% either. I know that he was the ECW World Champion for 2 times. I know that he reigned, and he was made ECW Champion 2 different occasions. He had the whole feud with the McMahon family, which I think was such a crock of crap, but end of the day, it was what it was. He was never made the next big thing because he didn't want that. So he just, he was happy where he was, being like a upper mid-card guy, it seemed like to me. He didn't want that big extra push toward the top. What does it seem like? Jordan Carter Brand. I recently read an article explaining John Cena's divorce, or soon to happen divorce, with his wife. Do you think the WWE is being selfish for seemingly not giving him the time off, especially during a time like this? Or is it simply Cena's pride that won't let him leave the squared circle? I think that WWE is definitely not allowing John to handle this in the proper way. I definitely think that John needs to be allowed to handle something so serious properly. And hopefully he will get the time off he deserves and needs right now, because in addition to the divorce, a lot of people are sick of John Cena, and the people need a break from the superhero. So I think that giving him a break to deal with his divorce would be perfect. Will it cost them money? Sure. Is it right to keep him around when he's going through this BS? No. It's not. And they should let him take a break. Thurman Merman 69. Jeff, what do you think of Cody Hall, Scott Hall's son? Do you think he'll ever make it to WWE? I've never seen Cody once in my life. I can't give you an honest opinion. I've never seen his in-ring work. I've never seen his promos. I've never seen anything to do with Cody Hall. I didn't even know Scott had a son, to be honest with you. So that's how much I know about that. If he's anywhere near as good as his pop was, he's got a good future. But comparing a father to a son is always to a father is always hard in this business. Look at Ric Flair, look at Richie Steamboat, look at the Rotundas, look at the Wyndhams. It's very hard road to plow, and I think that he will have a tough road, because Scott Hall was one of the best ever, I think. And had he not been so demonized, he would be even better all time. So Cody has definitely a tough road ahead of him. JD Pro 17. Jeff, I know you don't like him, but can you see Ryback being a world champion? Did I ever say I didn't like Ryback? I don't like Goldberg, but I don't mind Ryback. I don't have a problem with Ryan Reeves at all. Do I see him being a world champion? Probably not. He has the potential to be, but I don't think that they're going to make him world champion. I think they're going to have him be just this killing machine. And do you think WWE will create another gimmick like Undertaker and Kane? No. There'll never be another Undertaker, there'll never be another Kane. Those guys are 2 of the best, and those gimmicks are untouchable. Cross Johnson 316. Who do you think is the best big man in wrestling today? It's going to surprise a lot of people, but I'm going to go with Matt Morgan. Guy's got potential. Guy can work. He can talk. He's, you know, he didn't get a fair shake in WWE. They give him a great, or not great, decent run in TNA. And he can do better in TNA if they let him. They let him. This is a good one. The WWE Addict. Jeff, if Michael Cole faced John Laurinaitis and the loser leaves wrestling forever, who would you support and why? Michael Cole. Without question. Because, at the end of the day, Michael Cole has shown glimpses of professionality. Glimpses of non-D-bagginess. Kids here, sorry. Laurinaitis is universal D-bag. Just 100%, always, in character or not, a-hole. So, go Michael Cole. Yuck. The WWE Addict also asks, if The Rock wins the WWE Championship, do you think they'll throw that spinner design away and bring in the Brahma Bull design? Gotta hope not. Gotta hope not. Because it's bad enough having the spinner belt. Have the Brahma Bull belt. Have you guys ever seen that thing? It's decent looking, but we need tradition back. We need the old school belts back. We need like the Attitude Eagle, the Undisputed Eagle, even the Winged Eagle if they want to go back that far. Rexo69. What is a worse fate for in front of you? Big Dick Johnson dancing or Naked Midian dancing in front of you? Also, go Kings. Naked Midian, Big Dick Johnson dancing in front of you. Just consider that one. They're both bad. They're both hideous. Lawson Ricky, or Ricky Lawson, okay. What are your thoughts on TNA signing Brooke Hogan and WWE signing Ashley Flair? Brooke doesn't surprise me, honestly. I figured she'd make her way to TNA eventually. You know, the family affair. Her being in charge of the knockouts on TV, don't know how that's going to work. Because Brooke has no real wrestling experience, and those girls are going to look at her like look at Karen Jarrett and be like, seriously? Seriously. I don't care if you're a Hulk's daughter. Seriously. No. And Ashley Flair, I did not even know about that. I didn't know she was a wrestler. I didn't know she was aspiring to be a wrestler. I think that's cool. Hopefully she can, you know, take what David did and be better. Hopefully she can take, you know, what Reed has done and, you know, aspire to be better and, you know, go, you know, shoot for the stars type thing. I hope it works out for them. Ricky also asked my favorite LA King of all time. Totally non-wrestling question, but I'll go ahead and address it. I have watched the King since I was, can you see that? That big. And my favorite King ever is Marcel Dion. Number 16, retired now. Retired in 1988 or 89, whatever it was. His number was retired in 1990 by the Kings at the Forum. And always a cool guy, very sportsman. Also very cool because he was always wanting to sign an autograph for me wherever we turned up. Just Marcel's a class act, and I definitely miss him as a player. I wish people didn't have to grow old because I love to have him on the team still. All right, Extreme Animal 23. It's been a while since I asked the question, so here you go. I've been watching NXT a lot more on WWE and YouTube. Some days I feel like NXT puts on a better show than Raw or SmackDown. Do you watch NXT, and if you do you feel that some weeks are even better than Raw? I have not yet watched NXT. I intend to now because of the whole Florida connection now, as far as they're bringing in guys from Florida on a regular basis, or so they've said. And the combination of William Regal and JR on the commentary team definitely makes me want to watch each and every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Pacific on WWE.com. Cheap plug for y'all. Where's my money? I like to see more of NXT. I hope I get to actually watch it. But, Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, is my son's playtime. So we're always out of the house doing something at the park or the mall or wherever we end up having to be. But I will try to make a diligent effort to watch NXT. Alright, from the Facebook side of the world, is Jericho suspension a work? From Scott Jarnigan. I don't know. I'd like to believe it is, but whether he acted of his own accord or not, he messed up. People commented on Aaron's show last week, not Aaron RAA. About didn't Shawn Michaels do the same thing in the Canadian flag? Yeah, you don't get locked up for that in Canada. The cops rushed the ring, whether it was legit or not. That's a criminal, punishable by jail offense. Criminal? Is that even a word? I don't think so. Criminal, punishable by jail offense in Brazil to do something like that to their flag. So I hope that it's a work, but I doubt it. Bradley Morris, do you think WWE's become hypocritical? They have this anti-bullying campaign, but they have Big Johnny out there bullying the wrestlers with his abuse of power. We've talked about that before, how the Bellas were one of the stars of the anti-bullying campaign, and they were bullying Karma, and they were bullying, the other divas. So it is a big hypocritical BS. It totally is. I totally agree with that. It's all a bunch of nonsense and BS and crap. So definitely. Nick Trott, do you think a problem with today's mainstream wrestling is dead crowds? It seems a lot like unless there is a huge spot, some matches don't come across on TV as well. If the crowd is dead, the entire show and never gets into it. Your thoughts? Keep up the great work. Crowd response is everything in wrestling, and I've learned that being around the shows. If you can't get the crowd into a show, then you are lost. And if there's no crowd noise, if there's no crowd reaction, positive or negative, then you have nothing to build off of. And that's a huge key component. It's a huge key component to wrestling is the reaction from the audience, one way or the other. If you have no reaction, you don't know what to do with yourself. Amanda and Rhett Giddens. I heard WWE Legends of Wrestling Roundtable. Ric Flair said he thought if Sting would have been in WWE back in the day, he would have been a bigger star than Hogan. Yeah, I saw that comment too. Flair said this on the DVDs too. If the Horseman had been in the opening match, Hogan would. If the Horseman had been on the card, Hogan would have been in the opening match. He knows it too. I honestly don't know about that. Yes, Flair and the Horseman were better wrestlers. Yes, Sting had more charisma too and was a great worker. But Hogan was the golden boy. He always has been. As far as the WWF goes back in the 80s, he always will be considered that. And I don't think that the Horseman being around or Sting being around or Ricky Steamboat being elevated higher or anything like that would have influenced Vince's decision to push Hulk Hogan. Finally today from Ken Carrick. Just wondering, when do you think we'll see Cassius Ohno and Seth Rollins on the main shows, and what do you think WWE will do with them? I've heard they're going to be on NXT, so I'd like to see that soon, personally. I'd like to see both those guys. I've been a fan of Chris Hero and Tyler Black. I'm not going to call them those names. You're allowed to ask the questions, but it's Chris Hero and Tyler Black at the end of the day, along with Claudio Castagnoli, along with Bryan Danielson, Matt Sydal. These names are silly. I'd like to see Chris and Tyler both on the main shows very, very soon. I hope it happens. And as far as bringing it to Raw and SmackDown, as opposed to NXT, time will tell. Time will tell. Alright. For the rest of this week, tomorrow's Renegade of Wrestling will feature a review of our trip to Battleground Pro Wrestling, and the name of the show escaped me again. Kaka. What was the name of the show the other night? Oh, it's on the thing, that's right. Taking Liberties. Thank you. I'm sorry. It was such a. I was focused on what was going on. I didn't focus on the name of the show, and that's my bad. Wednesday, RSI. We'll have another movie review. Not gonna tell you what it is. Gonna make you wait. Haha. Thursday, if I can get the prop that's under the pictures. Thank you. Will be our review of Rope Opera, how WCW killed Vince Russo, featuring the Bat Phone. And then we'll draw from the kitty with our new book, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. For now, this has been After the Bell. We will see you next time.